Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back with another Sis Let's Talk episode. I am your host. I am Nicole Knox, and I have a very special guest joining me today, Miss Marshay Nicole. How are you doing, love?
Okay.
Yes. So I'm so glad that you are joining me today. We're talking about relationships in reference to being entrepreneurs. And we're talking about relationships in regards to having a relationship in the industry. And first and foremost, I want to say congratulations on your engagement. Yes, honey. Yes, yes, yes. I remember when we were manifesting that. What was it, like 2019, 2018, 2019?
Yep. That whole time you just like, look, ain't nobody in here, ain't nobody trying to just be dating. Okay. So, people thought I was crazy when I was saying that I'm not manifesting a date.
Crazy.
I'm manifesting a relationship. I'm manifesting marriage. I'm manifesting a future with someone. I'm not manifesting a one night stand.
Yes.
Those are so
yes.
That's nothing. So yes, congratulations to me. Thank you. Love you. Thank you.
Yes, I'm so happy and excited for you. Well, first of all, because I'm divorced, everybody knows on my channel. So walk us through that. Because I know, again, we manifested it, and then how did it come about?
You know the story.
I know the story. You know what? But I actually love to hear the story.
Hey, it's Shantae Wayans, the love of my life, and she's in the entertainment industry,
mm-hmm.
And I remember saying, I did honestly say to myself, like, I don't know if I want to date another celebrity. It's not, and I don't know why. I know why I attract them, because I felt like that is my lane.
Mm-hmm.
Celebrity hairstylist and makeup artist, so that was my lane. But I just didn't want to date someone in that because I know sales. But I said, you know what? I'm open to all when it came to manifesting, and when I say open to all, I'm open to all what is good for me.
Yeah,
but not open to everything. and beat on and disrespect or anything like that. But I'm just open to different types of relationships, and that was one of the relationships that I said, you know what? I'm gonna go in this with a clear mind and open and just take what comes to me. And I'm going to be faithful in knowing that nothing in this life right now is going to come to me that I don't need.
Right.
And just to break it down, I saw her on a Netflix special, and I was like, damn, she's fine. And I kept saying, like, this is the type of, like, that's just aesthetically, that's the type of woman that I desired. And I said, wouldn't it be nice if we could end up together? Like, if she's single, I'm single, we could rock. And it literally worked out that way, that we wound up each other on Tinder, and the rest is history.
Oh my goodness. So tell me, because you've been in business for a very long time, and with Shantae being a comedian, both of you guys been in the entertainment industry. I mean, even when I was dating the rapper, that is a very hard job. Being self-employed in general is a very hard thing to do, but being in the entertainment industry also adds its like other stresses and pressures and things to a relationship. So how have you guys been combating that and handling that and things of that nature?
Well, I honestly think it's a meeting of the minds, and it's a time where it's a moment where you have to be like, why are you in this?
Right.
And in two aspects, like, why are you in the relationship and why are you in the entertainment industry?
Yeah.
And those two things, because to be honest with you, a lot of masculine presenting women, feminine presenting women, men, they all want in the industry. Let me not say they all. Let me rephrase that. They don't all, but it's highly desirable to be with a lot of women, to date a lot of women, to be on an in and out. And I knew that I didn't want that for my life.
Right.
And if I want it can happen, right? If I want to just be out here dating and doing whatever with whomever, I could do that. But I knew that that's not what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that's not the lane that I wanted to go in. And I feel like you are going to get what you ask for.
Right.
And you have, and you have to be intentional. It's a hard pill to swallow when you tell people, like, when they pour into you what they're going through in their life, and you want to say in the back of your mind, like, I'm sure you asked for this. I'm sure you asked for this job. I'm sure you manifested this job. I'm sure you prayed for this job, and now you're complaining about this job. And the same thing goes for a mate. Like, I'm sure you asked for this mate. I'm sure you manifested this mate. I'm sure you prayed for this mate, but now you're complaining about this person. And I just feel like you got to be intentional to the T. Like, you got to say, this is the height and the weight. This is the job I desire. This is the income requirement I desire. This is the level of love I desire. This is the level of respect I desire. And I know that I couldn't be with anyone who didn't value the same. We all have, right? Like, deal breakers are like, for example, I don't want anyone who's in communication with their ex.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good. That's all for you. Everything works for each individual person. Mm-hmm. And my deal breakers for me was like, you have to be in tune with yourself. In tune with yourself, knowing that you are the driver of your life, knowing that you are the person that is going to do everything that comes into it. Like, it's not up to nobody else. So I feel like that way in life. And I felt like if there's only one way to do it when it comes to relationships, because Nikki, we try every way.
Man.
We try hookups from friends. We try hookups from family. We try hookups from homies. We try everything, but it's like, no, let me be intentional and patient about what I want and I desire. And that's what came into my life.
You know what? It's funny because I was like, I don't want to be nothing entertain. I don't want to be nothing entertainment. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to be bothered with it. And I remember when we were manifesting and everything entertainment wise was coming to me and you were like, no, I'm embracing it. And I'm like, no, I'm kicking and screaming. I don't want this. Cause I said, I'm not polished enough for this here platform. And that was my thing. Like, I'm intentional. I know what I want. So when I started dating a rapper, I said, wait, wait, we're on the same page. We're on the same page. I love it. We're on the same page. But I said, wait now, because I don't like people in my business. I don't like being in the spotlight. I like to be in the back. I don't like, because I said, you know what, for me, I was not ready to give up my comforts that would cause me to grow, to be put in the spotlight.
What does that mean? What comforts?
Like, my comforts was, I'm that comfort of, see, when you're just a regular person and you have to, yes, we have to mature, but if I want to snap and we go there, it's not going to be, it's nobody going to know but us. It's a little, it's a little bit of just my little circle going to know that I snapped and went off.
But that's why the line of social media is so thin, right?
It really is.
Like for me, I'm dating someone in the limelight in the industry, and it's just like, I could be a video hoe. I use that term loosely. I mean, a video girl, video vixen. Let me rephrase it. But shame. I don't woman shame. I don't body shame. If I wanted to be in this realm of, okay, I want to be this girl that have my ass, we all can do that. Like, it's all thing, but that's not who I am.
Right.
And any other woman for doing whatever, like, do what makes you happy. For me, I like to keep my house clean. For me, I like to cook. Like, everybody has their own lane. I think that's the problem. Like, we don't realize we have to get with people that are in our lane. We have to come to a meeting of the minds with those that like the things that we like, because opposites attract, but that doesn't mean
yes.
It's attraction. Like, we always like the next big thing, the next best thing, the next cute thing, the next in thing. And I used to be that girl. Like, I want to be this and I want to be that. And I had to get to a point where, well, girl, what do you really want? Like, what I like to cook and stay home. And this is what I like in my life. And you wouldn't think that a person with like the aspirations and the desires that I have,
right,
that's completely opposite.
mm-hmm.
And on the surface, because my fiance loves to stay home. No, she loves to go out. She loves to mingle. She loves to network, but she also loves to stay home. She also loves to be up under me. She also loves to walk the dogs and cook with me. So I had to realize that these two things are different. The social media life is very from the real life.
You know what? One of the things that I had to learn very quickly. And I when I say this, a lot of people looked at me that knew about my relationship. They were like, "This is crazy. This don't bother you at all." And I used to say, "No." I actually encourage him, because how he built his social media and their presence and how they built their brand. I was like, I don't touch that. I don't touch that. I have built my brand a totally different way, because I'm divorced, empowering women. So
right. Different brand.
Right. So with him, I was like, don't change up what has been working and what you built, for years. And a lot of people I was like, you built it up to be Casanova. You Casanova. I ain't tripping, because I know outside of what's really going on. And I said, look, I like, comment, and scroll. Like, I'm not. And so people be like, that don't bother you. And I'm like, no, because I would tell him, I would ask him, I'm like, oh, baby, you going to the gym today? He like, yeah, I'm going to the gym. I'm like, make sure when you go to the gym, you take that picture with the shirt off and you show your back. Cause the ladies love that when you do that and you drop that on your social media. They go crazy when you do it. And he used to look at me like, you're retarded. And I'm like, let's not mess up a good, how things went. But then I also had to learn with that's how boundaries get crossed now when you're in a relationship, because fans are used to that. And so when you have a significant other and that type of stuff slows down, that's when things get a little bit hectic and things get a little bit crazy and disrespectful. So, I had to learn,
But friction. And,
right.
and in a sense it's normal, right? Because no relationship is perfect.
Right.
You have to set those boundaries. Not only do you have to set them in the beginning, you have to do checks in the relationship.
Yeah, you really do.
I made sure that, for example, we just had a relationship check yesterday. Like, let's get out all the things that we may have been harboring for the last 3 and we didn't get out. Because we all know that when you're and let's be honest, when you're in a relationship and things are going good, if you have an issue, you don't really want to bring it up because you're like, things are going so good.
Right, right.
But at the end of the day, that hinders you.
Yeah.
That hinders the elevation of your relationship, because y'all should be talk these things through. But it is true that not is tact. So not everything it can be said at a certain time. So right. You need, and it's hard to navigate through that. You got life, you got kids, you got jobs, you got house, car. Who has time to navigate and pick at everything? So I feel like relationship checks I don't know if you want to give it every 3 months, if you want to give it every 6 weeks. I look at it as a hair trim. Like, you got to trim your hair every 6 to 8. So I do a relationship check-in every 6 to 8 weeks. And that's our time to sit down and talk without judgment from each other.
You know what? It's funny because I truly believe in that. One of the things that I do in my relationships, and a lot of people are like, that is crazy. I need to know about your past. I need to know about your past relationships. I need to know what happened. And when we have what you call the relationship checks, I'm not your lady at that point. We homies. We got to be able to talk as homies. You got to be able to give me the real deal, Holyfield, unjudgment. I need to know what ran across your mind. Okay, what happened with the little coworker at work? You need to be able to tell me, because what I noticed that in relationships, when we start having, like you said, those relationship checks and those relationship conversations, we kind of harbor and say, oh, I can't say this because I'm talking to my significant other. And that's where all that kind of stuff gets, mixed in there, of how they feel and where they're at in their life and what happened in their past and what's now resurfacing. But if you're talking to me like your homie, your best friend, you're going to give me everything, because there's, like you said, there's no judgment, there's no bias. We're just sitting here being very honest and transparent with each other. So that way we can address it if it needs to be addressed. We could talk about it, we could laugh about it, we could cry about it. But with that new bonding, and because we're holding communication, it progresses us forward.
It's like a video game, like I want but it's and it took me, just me being with my partner and having to have that conversation, like, babe, I know you know me, you're my cousin, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm very straightforward. Mm-hmm. Straightforward to the point, almost to a fault, to a lot of times, to where people are like, that was a bit too much, especially here on the West Coast, because I'm used to East Coast, New York, we're very like, it is. And I remember having to have countless time having to have a conversation with my partner about, this is not me attacking you, being straightforward. And I'm like, and it's okay to give a disclaimer, and it's okay to, you know what I mean, to be, to honestly, to be your true self. Sometimes you have to give a disclaimer, like, before I say anything, this is not an attack on you. This is not me against you. This is just me giving my honest opinion, and I hope you receive it as such. And a lot of people, it may sound cliche, or it may sound like,
no, not at all. No, at all. Because we're very blunt.
Yeah, and I learned that being blunt is not always.
It's really not. It's because it comes off, and it puts what I learned, because I always said, because you know us. Oh, I'm just keeping it real. I'm being blunt. I'm just telling you like it is. And not recognizing that because of my bluntness and because of I'm keeping it real, I'm actually hurting my partner. I'm actually hurting their feelings. So they're unable to receive what I'm saying, because they're, for one, looking at it as criticism. Mm-hmm. They're feeling attacked. So they're automatically in a defensive mode. Yep. And one of the things that, in my relationship when I was dating the guy, I'm like, babe, I'm on your team. I'm on your side. I just want what's best for you, but tell me how you want me to say it to where it does not come off as aggressive. It doesn't come off as blunt, because what I'm saying to you, I very much mean well. Right. And I'm only trying to help and assist, but I want to be able to say it in a way where it doesn't come off abrasive. It doesn't come off as offensive. Right. And it doesn't turn into an argument, because one of the things that I used to tell him all the time was, babe, we're saying the same thing. I'm just saying it a little bit. I'm just saying I'm saying it different.
Isn't that, girl? I'm
saying the same thing, honey.
It happens so often.
Yes.
In our relationship check yesterday, we both had to realize at the end, like, I'm saying to you what you're saying to me.
Yes, I'm just saying I'm saying it crazier than you, and a little bit more aggressive.
Right. And maybe my delivery, and I said to her yesterday, my delivery might be a little fucked up. I didn't mean it like that. Again, listen, one of my biggest things in relationships is apologize with meaning.
Yes.
Just apologize and know that, and understand that you're apologizing. Forget you. It's not for because we get into this self-love thing, and then we're like, it's all about me. It's not all about you. When you make
it's not. Especially not in relationships.
Right. When you make a commitment to with someone, and you also made a commitment to communicate with that person. Yeah. You also commitment to, and I we watch all these self-help relationship experts, especially men, on Instagram and Facebook and social media, and talking about how they navigate with women and how they navigate their relationships. And I'm just like, no, things are not always going to be sugarcoated.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that after you realize what you said, even if y'all came to like understanding of, okay, I get it, I understand you, you have to know and be mature enough to say later on, like, you know what, even though you understood me, my delivery was whack.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. And I could have delivered that a different way, and I could have let you know, and I could have poured my heart out a different way. And I'm sorry about that. And I'm glad that you received it. Or if the latter happens, I'm sorry that you didn't receive it in that way. This is what and it happens. Because sometimes in the heat of the moment, you're saying whatever comes to mind. You're saying whatever is in your heart or what you think is in your heart. And you're just blurting it out. And then 20 minutes later, you're like, damn, I should have said that.
It's funny. I used to say, because I'm so passionate about what you're passionate about and making sure that you're okay, my protectiveness and my defensiveness when I'm, relaying what I'm saying to you, it's a protective in me and it's the same amount of passion. I'm outward passionate where you're inward passionate. Mm-hmm. So what's coming out, and it's all coming out all emotional because I'm so passionate about what I'm saying. And my passion, I'm like, okay, because I'm so passionate, you're going to understand what I'm saying. No, my passion could be all over the place. It could seem like frustration. You could read it as anger. You could read it in all kinds of ways, except for the way that I actually need you to understand it. So I have to tell myself, let me reel this back in and figure out a better way to communicate this to you with all the extras, and be able to tell you, like, again, I apologize for this delivery. This is what I meant. I was trying to come up with a solution, whatever it was. And then we move forward.
Woman or man enough to sit in your own shit.
No. But it's funny that a lot of people say that women and men, yes, there's accountability. But you know what? I look at a lot of people like, y'all preach accountability, but it's very few that will put the pride aside and say, you know what? And I had to learn that through my divorce. And I had told myself, you know what, with my relationships after, whether it be family or whether it be, a relationship with a significant other, no, accountability, not later, not when put the pride aside right then and there where you're at, apologize. Whether you meant any harm or anything like that, do it right then and there, because that person's offended right then and there, and fix it right then and there. Don't let it harbor or fester and wait a while till you're comfortable to do it.
And to be honest, sometimes it does harbor and fester. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you could even go in and say, this is not what I meant. And the person still be like, but this is still how I felt.
Right.
And I think that my biggest struggle and my biggest, what I combated with the most and dealing, because this has been my most successful relationship. Mm-hmm. And it has nothing to do with the longevity of it, because it's only been a little bit over a year. Mm-hmm.
I think it's a maturity.
It's been my most successful because it's been my most communicative. Mm-hmm. We have both been able to, in the midst of pride, and
that's good,
in the midst of I want my feelings to matter, it's always stop. I always stop. And I never used to do that. I'm always used to be like, I used to hold it, that you could cheat on me, you could do whatever, and I would hold it in. If I knew it wasn't like in my face, I would just hold it in, and then I would wait for the right time to lash everything out.
Yeah, I used to be that way. I couldn't do them. It's making me sick.
As first was, the older we get, the less we're able to hold in, and it's like right. I don't have time. But now this was the most the most that I've ever communicated. Right. Like, it's my way or the highway, or you did me wrong, fuck you. Excuse my French, I don't know if we cursing, but it's been a very much in my life, like, this is what it is. And now I'm at this point where I'm like, what are you feeling? Right. How did I, even if I felt so right and so, dignified and so like, this is what it is. At the end of, even if I feel right in everything that I thought and everything that I said, I'm still like, you have to see the other side, because perspective is everything. And if you feel like your perspective is the only one and the only one that's
work.
It ain't.
It's not gonna work.
We all live different lives. We all have different experiences. How dare I tell you what you're saying to me or how you're feeling is invalid, because I've been through. It's that shit ain't gonna.
One of the things I learned from my last relationship was being vulnerable. I've always tried to keep this protective shell, this hardcore alpha female shell. I'm gonna keep you at arm's length. And I never really understood what that would do to somebody, keeping somebody at arm's length until it happened to me. And one of the things that I'm like, okay, I'm communicating, I'm putting my guards down, I'm putting my walls down, and I'm going to be communicating, be very transparent and be very open and honest with my feelings and things of that nature. And I had to learn patience with somebody who was just like me prior to me coming into my own.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big struggle for people. And I'm like, it was a struggle for me. And I'm like, here I am going on 37 this year. And I'm like, last year was my first year in a relationship actually doing it. And I said, you know what? That's a very hard thing to do with people, of them saying to their significant other, you know what, you offended me and this is how I felt, rather than just holding it in and walking off. Like, I think that's the thing that with a lot of people in relationships is that they're like, you know what, I'm not gonna say nothing, I don't want to be offended, so they will harbor and keep it quiet and keep it quiet, but the other person is never saying it.
Yes.
Yeah. And I was just, I can't do that no more.
The hard conversations are like the turning point of the relationship.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you're going, especially if you put time into a relationship and you feel like at the end of that, you just like, look, I'm just going to go ahead and try to figure this out with somebody else. It's not going to work. Like, you have to figure out what are you doing to contribute to the bullshit. And I really, and that's a hard pill to swallow. It's just like, what, me? I'm perfect. Like, me, I'm giving. Me, I'm this. And it's just like, no. And you're also very strong. And you're also very, headstrong. And you're also very talk to. And so I had to realize all those hard truths. And then, and like you said, be as vulnerable to let my partner know that these are my struggles.
Yeah.
And issue that people, come across that they're not willing to deal with. It's just like, you have to let the other person know, these are my struggles. You ever been on a first date or a second date or a third date with somebody and you be like, why your relationships ain't work? Like, what was it like? It's always so very surface, like, oh, we just didn't connect. And it's just like, no, tell me what
happened. What happened? I didn't know what happened. Did you hit her? Did you cheat? Like, no judgment, because I'm gonna tell you what happened with mine,
girl. And even if you feel like you did nothing, even if you say like, let me know you did nothing, so I know that that's your thing. You do nothing to fix it. Like, don't just be like, I don't know. Like, we just didn't. And I love honest conversations. I love when people get I love pour your heart out to me. That shit's not gonna backfire. I'm not ever gonna bring it up again unless you want me to. But I will say, I am happy that I'm able to look past myself and look past my own, personal needs and desires without neglecting them. I can look at them without saying my desires and needs and wants don't matter. Like, no, they still matter, but someone else's does also. And that compromises everything for me.
You know what? It's funny. I recently, one of my exes, not my ex-husband, not my ex-husband, but I did have this same conversation with my ex-husband, and I'm very proud that I did. I didn't understand what he had said when he said it to me years ago, but I understood it when he had said it during COVID. And I had a conversation with another one of my exes, and I always thought I had a what I thought why the relationships didn't work. And then I said, I want to hear from you, your point of view. I know what I did,
Right.
One of the things, I think we lost you.
No, I'm here. I'm trying to turn my screen to the other way so I can see you full. There we go.
So I remember, I said to myself, one of the things that I struggle with as my flaws is I'm very impatient. And I'm very impatient because I'm like, okay, if I don't know the answer, I'm going to go find the answer. I'm not going to sit back and say, I don't have the answer, and I'm just going to sit there without the answer. But one of my big problems was that I never allowed my partner, that annoyed me when my partner was like that. I became impatient. I became impatient with like, so you're just gonna sit back and not know and wait till me to figure out the answer. It drove me nuts. And another one of my flaws was once I had detachment issues, and I had unforgiveness issues. Those are things I had to work on. But I had to ask, my two exes, like, what was it about me that, why we didn't work? And a lot of people now are ready to receive that. And, we had the conversation was, oh, where you were perfect. And I'm like, I wasn't perfect. I got flaws, things that I need to work on still. And they were like, you're perfect. You're just a lot of pressure to be with. There's aspiration and goals that you were always fighting for I was never going to get to that level. Not in this life.
Well, no, and that's okay. Goodbye.
Well, you know what? The crazy thing about it, though, when they were telling me this, immediately I said, well, I never asked you to. But then in reality, yes, I did, because you want to grow and elevate with your partner.
Right.
It doesn't benefit or work if I'm constantly growing and elevating. I'm constantly trying to obtain knowledge, and you're okay with being right here. So if you're never climbing me, for me, I'm gonna lose interest. I'm gonna lose attraction. Because it's like, what do we got? We're not meeting here We're not meeting here halfway. So one of the things that, and deterred me from a lot of dating was that's my first date question. What do you think about growth? Where are you at? Are you cool with where you at? That's good enough for you?
Right.
That your income is good enough for you, where you live at with your house, your knowledge level, that's okay with you? Okay. So you're not constantly evolving, you're not constantly growing. That's okay with you. Oh, I'm not the woman for you, because we're gonna battle. The more I always want to obtain knowledge. I always want to get better. I always want to, because we're constantly growing. This person that we are in our 30s and 40s, we're not that person in our 50s. Right. And that was one of my things, that once I'm already in a relationship, I had to learn that I needed to find partners that were okay with growing with me the same way I was. Because if you pick somebody that was, okay with their life situation, they saw nothing wrong with it, it wasn't going to work. And one of the things
it's not conducive. And
right. And that's what
no, go ahead.
One of the things that with my last relationship, we and him were always constantly growing. We were all constantly pouring each other, because we had the same interests. We always wanted to grow. We always wanted to obtain knowledge. We always wanted to move forward. But my struggle with that relationship was, he's here and you are what he knows, you're learning fast. He's teaching you, you're learning it fast, executing it fast. Like, he got to just show it to you one time and you already know how to do it. You about to bring it back to him like, okay, babe, so you show me how to do this, now I know how to do this, not
right.
But what I know is he's not learning it as fast as I'm learning it. So when I'm like, okay, this should be water, it's not flowing as water. And the friction and the impatientness and the the expectation for me, I felt like that's another thing that also has to die. Like, your partner doesn't always have to learn as fast as you do.
Yeah, but that and that's very true, and I agree with you. I just feel like it is a fine line, because we are always growing at different, like, I might be growing spiritually and you might be growing career-wise.
Right.
I might be growing career-wise and you might be growing mentally.
Yeah.
So I just feel like it all depends on what the person. So to piggyback off of what you said, I agree, right? First and foremost. But I also think that it depends on at what level are you willing to stretch yourself? At what level are you willing to say, okay, because we all think we know everything as teenagers. And then when you become like 28, 29, 30, you're like, oh, I don't know everything.
No.
And then it's that 30 to 40 where it's like, I'm refiguring myself out.
Because now it's purely experience.
Right. Now, before you just before we thought it was experience, but then you realize, like I said, around 20
yeah,
something, you didn't have enough experience.
Yeah, yeah. But when you get to our age, it's like, no, this is real experience.
I feel like it's all within your willingness to learn, with your willingness to succeed, your willingness to elevate. And that sounds cliche, but when you talk to certain people, especially in dating or dealing in relationships in general, I'm big on asking, what are your aspirations?
Yes.
And your aspirations could say, look, I aspire to be as I am right now, career-wise. I'm great. What I cannot accept is that you are not willing to grow.
And that's people don't understand
that's it, because we are always going to evolve, whether you want to or not. The world is going to evolve and revolve around you. So you have a choice. Either you want to jump in that plane or you want to stay stagnant where you are. In any capacity, I'm not willing to stay stagnant. Not in money, not in relationships, not in family, not in food, not in thought. Everything I want to elevate, and every aspect of my life, I want to make sure that the next chapter of my life shows and reflects that elevation.
Yes.
So if I am here and if I'm here and you're still here, which is behind me,
that ain't gonna work.
Catch up. And I'm gonna give you an opportunity to catch up.
Well, okay, so the question is how long, because this is my problem. This was my problem. How long do they have to catch up?
It depends on the situation. It depends on your progress. It depends on if you got to catch up to here, but you ain't making no type of progress. You ain't taking no steps. I already know where this is going. Nowhere. Because if you ain't taking no steps forward, I mean, we still going to be right here. I need to always see progress. And that's why when I say relationship checkups, it may seem to my exes that it was finding a reason or finding some bullshit. Because that's what I've been told previously. Like, you're just finding a reason to find something to complain about. And I'm like, I'm glad that I know that that's your frame of thinking, because that's not what this is about. So it's time for me to move on. Because if you think that me trying to elevate you, not even elevate you, because I can't elevate you, you can only elevate you. But if you think that me trying to elevate me and me trying to elevate us as a unit is detrimental to our future, I can't be a part of it. Like, that is taboo. I cannot be a part of it.
You know, so, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It be like that. And it's like you said, as far as the time frame, I'm always like, I give check-ins every 3 months, whether my fiance knows it or not, or realizes it or not. If she sat back and thought every 3 months since we've been together, yes, I am checking in. Check. So what have we learned in the last 3 months? I want to know, what have we learned in our relationship?
Did we get better? Did we get worse?
What have we learned in our finances? We checking credit scores. We doing all these things because if we are not at a place of constant elevation, that means we need to figure out what's going on the surface so we can elevate in the next chapter.
You know, it's funny because when and mind you, I loved him, broke my heart at but I said, wait, after 6 months, a year, I said, you still finding me offensive. So I'm not doing something. I'm not doing something right, because you're still finding me offensive. We're still friction. We're not even communicated correctly. So we're not elevating. We're not elevating. I feel like I'm confused. I'm thinking we elevated, but then when I do the check-in, no, we're not even on the same page. And you know, so a lot of people, when I walked away, I said, I'm not adding any, you know, I'll walk away from something that I feel like I'm not adding any value to. And it's not progressing. And you know, I'm not gonna say, oh, it was all that other person. No, I'm gonna tell you what I did wrong. You know, I probably didn't deliver again, communication well. I again, probably because I'm extra, probably took a lot of things too far in my statement or in my passion, and those are things that I have to work on.
Right.
And the crazy thing about, you know, with relationships, when people are not willing to do that, I would never take a relationship check-in as bad. I would check that as a good thing, because that would let me know me and you on the same page. And the goal is that our relationship progresses, and the goal is that we grow as people, not only together, but individually. And
Yeah.
that was my goal with my last two relationships. Are we growing? Are we becoming better people? Is our family gonna?
Do you feel like the social media, because social media is very, I need it now, and this is what life is like now, and it's like instant gratification, instant everything. I do you feel like, because I do feel like social media plays, and just media in general plays a big part in how people perceive their own relationships and how people think that they should proceed going forward. And I say that in explanation to say, like, we look at couples and we don't really see the turmoil in the
Right.
relationship. All we see is the anniversaries, the
the
celebrations,
pictures, the pajamas.
right? We don't see the work. And I think that people see these relationships on social media and in the media and on the news and so on and so forth, and think like, oh, I want something like that. Just like, prime example, Will and Jada. Love Will and Jada. Respect Will and Jada, because I respect whatever is working for you is for you.
They're working for you.
But with that being said, what's working for you and what's for you is not everybody's business. No. And they kept that under wraps for so long. For so long, it's just been rumored. Everything that was in their life was just rumored. It was never like, this person said this. And I'm big on, if they ain't say it, I don't believe it. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to celebrities and the media. And it for so long, it was rumored with their open marriage or open relationship or whatever have you. And it was never like, cut and dry. But when she came out with her statements and he came out with his book, it was just like, some things are to be left sacred. Some things are to be left sacred, even in the public eye.
My thing about social media, and a lot of people are going to disagree. And again, I'm not a perfect person, so I'm not going to ever, to my fans, make it seem like I am perfect. With my divorce and my relationship, we looked good on social media. We looked good. We looked so good. We were relationship goals. And it used to hurt me that we were relationship goals, because I'm not gonna lie, for the longest time I lied. He was the great. So as far as anybody needed to know, he was the greatest man that only I needed to know that he was trash. Nobody needed to know that. The world didn't need to know that. And when I went outside and I stepped outside, that's all people needed to know, was that he was great. He was amazing, but behind closed doors, he was terrible. And I remember when it came out that he had the girlfriend, and then it came out, all the stuff had played out on social media. So many people were hurt. And I was getting calls left and right about, oh, we didn't know you guys were having relationship problems. You guys were so perfect. And I made a conscious decision after that I no longer was going to ever lie on social media. I'm not going to lie on social media. I don't lie to my fans. If it's good, bad, ugly, what have you, I give them the real deal, Holyfield. And what I feel like with social media and with couples, so many people are making these couples relationship goals, and no relationship should be a couple's goal, because you clearly don't have no idea. First of all, relationship is work. Let's just put it on out there. It's two people. It's a job.
Right.
It's a happy, stressful roller coaster job. I don't know no relationship where it's just easy. You don't have no arguments or nothing. It's really a job.
It's always work, honey.
And it's two people committed to understanding each other. That's it. When I saw the Will and Jada thing come out, it didn't faze me none, because I said, first of all, I'm a Virgo and he's a Libra, and they was together for some years. I was married to a Libra. She lying. She crazy. He crazy. That's all that needs to be said. Now, what took me by surprise was, she cheated with the little youngster. But again, I said this on another episode. I commend women and men. I could not do it. I could not do it. I'm going to always be transparent. I couldn't do it. I couldn't forgive no cheating. I can't do it. I commend women.
We can't speak on their cheating rumors because according to them, they were both open.
Okay, well, so probably
now I don't listen. I don't. There's no coming back from cheating for me. Like it's just too many things as to why you shouldn't have cheated. Because number one, I could have cheated. Number two, diseases, like it's just too much. It's too much.
But you know what? With us and us now, you know what? Us now being in the industry, because we didn't start off in the industry, and we didn't have no plans of being in the industry when we first started. I said, and God forbid, and I'm believing my soulmate is coming, but dating somebody in the industry, that's pretty much, it's starting to seem like the new normal. And social media is putting that out there. I did a video recently of, so your man cheating or you cheating or y'all having a third party or y'all having a girlfriend, that's the new normal. I guess I'm gonna be single forever because that'll never be the new normal for me. But in the entertainment business, open relationships, side chicks,
it's a thing.
It's a major thing. And I had let it known to my rapper bae, like, see, this is where I can't be. I'll beat a chick up. Like, I'm old school with it. We're not doing no open Nathaniel. We're not doing no cheating. I'm out. If it look funny, smell funny, it look like it's in a ramification of a side chick,
I'm done.
We ain't gotta talk about it because my history has proven, and I wrote about it in my book, I don't do well with cheating. I don't do well with disrespect. I don't do well with other women. That's a no-go for me. That's a no-go for me. I can't do it. But in social media with this entertainment business, they'll have you thinking that's the way to go. And if you're not solidified into what type of woman you are, like you and I are, and we standing gung-ho to that's all the way. No, I'm not the woman for you. If you need an extra woman in here, I'm not her. There's plenty of women out here that would do it. I'm just not the one that's gonna do it with you.
Same.
And I, it's funny because Moneybag Yo and his girlfriend, I'm a huge fan of Ari, and she got on a live, and she did a podcast where she was discussing how she immaturely gets mad and she act like she leave just to get a reaction out of her man. And she like when he pull a gun on her. Now, first of all, I've been in domestic violence and all that kind of stuff, and we've been fighting and all that. I looked at that and I said, girl, what?
And then the statement that followed was just like, it wasn't accountability.
No.
Instead, it was, why y'all mad? Why y'all mad? What? I lost this deal. And it's like, you say that now until God forbid you're a victim or a survivor of some shit that you didn't deserve. And
first of all, I said this. I said, a woman that's really been around guns like us, and a woman like myself that's been with gangsters, a woman that's been where you had to put the person.
But Nikki, she's from Chicago. She been around some shit. My thing is, you done got so blindsided, and you got, you in this fame and this life that you forgot that cute little gun story that you think is cute is somebody's reality, and somebody's reality don't make it out of that.
It was my reality, and I said to myself, I don't recall ever in my life all those times that I've been around a gun, and mind you, my second ex, he made sure I knew how to pull it, and so I'm like, I don't ever recall me being like, that was a good thing
ever.
I said, and then I said, I've been around some shooters, and I don't recall not even them being happy about being a shooter. Like they don't even brag about it. And like,
but you know, these rappers don't be, girl, let me shut up.
Right. And so I said, is he really a shooter? Because I'm gonna tell you what, I know some shooters, and they ain't bragging about being no shooters. And I know some women that had a gun pulled on them, and we not talking about oh girl, he pulled a, no, we were scared.
And why? But let's talk about, why do you think that is love? Why do you think that is a token of his love for you? To pull, that's not love, baby toxic. Girl. That's him saying that I own you. I'm not gonna go there, because that's a whole different girl.
It's time. I'm telling you right now. I had went on. I was seeing this guy, and I only was seeing him for like a little bit. And again, me and him still cool. You know me and my mouth. I'm gonna talk. I used to talk crazy, cuss you out, everything. My mouth was terrible, and I worked really hard to no longer be that type of woman. I worked hard, counseling, self-help books, everything. And you know, our family, we talking to you crazy from sun up to sundown. And I remember asking him to do something, and I asked him to do something nicely. Like, it was like, oh, can you pick that up? And he was like, no, because you asked me nicely to do it. I like my women to talk to me crazy. And I said, baby, look at here. I'm not about to be cussing you out and talking to you crazy every day, because you are accustomed.
Because you're used to trauma.
You're accustomed to people disrespecting you. You're accustomed to women belittling you, and in your mind, you have turned it into a turn on. That is not a turn on for me. I'm not going to be sitting here talking to you crazy. That's toxic. I'm not the right woman for you. Let me head on out. I'm not even going. I'm like, you fine. You got all the good qualities that I want, but me going back to being that old crazy woman, and we out here arguing, and I got to talk to you wild. I'm not doing it. So when I seen Ari's little thing, I said, girl, you like toxicness and you like immaturity. And don't nobody got time for that. But again, you're in your
and you like violence.
And you like violence.
You like close to death, near-death experiences. And the problem again with that is the deeper issue is what have you experienced in your life? Because was your dad there? Did you see that? Did you see that in your household, to think that if your dad abused your mom, that was okay, or your brother abused his girlfriends, you think that's like? Again, at what point do you elevate spiritually, mentally,
right. And it's crazy,
and you realize that this is not conducive, this is not healthy? And to say, and the thing that was crazy to me was when she was on the podcast. Now, trust me, we all come from the hood. We come from the hood. Exactly. So, but there's no way that I'm gonna be sitting on this woman's podcast because you and somebody's doing somebody's basement podcast, and you like, yeah, because of that's not why. You have a contract with a major deal, a major corporation company that's putting you on this platform, that's giving you this platform, that's giving you this outlet that we have not seen in decades, ever, if ever, for Black women. And you not even, and my, like, it was just so many things that you promote, and then you use it to promote domestic violence and then belittle. Right. I hate to make this about her, but there's so many things that snowballed, and you just did not stop. You didn't stop that avalanche. You kept letting this snowball get bigger and bigger with the whole podcast. Okay, boom. You didn't do anything. No, but nobody on your team said, let's do some damage control. And instead, when you got dropped from Fenty, you went on and you did this whole, well, I don't care, and why y'all feel like this, and you asked for it, or not, let me not say that. Let me not put words in the girl's mouth, but by saying she doesn't care. And that's not her story. And that's not, and it's like, no, girl, that is your story. And the reason why you don't feel the detriment of it is because you haven't been seriously hurt. But to use that voice. But to the rest of us that's been through that, and you use that voice and that power, and not even to say, I apologize, I messed up, I didn't understand, or I never been through that. But to say, like, I don't care, it's just like, girl. And and then one thing I learned in this, being in in the entertainment industry and I haven't even gotten
I'm just barely scratching the surface. They have a sense of arrogance
Of course.
and a sense of entitlement. And I'm like, wait, so you don't remember when you was Poe? And I'm like, you don't remember when you were struggling? You don't remember when you didn't have nothing? And you feel that you can talk to now because you got money, you could talk to people like this. People that are buying your stuff so that you could have the
But
money.
Nikki, they still will. These girls will still follow them. These girls will still.
And that's the part that you know what, I came to the realization. I even asked myself, I asked my one of my exes, I said, y'all, I came to the realization y'all like women like that. Y'all like women like that. They're
Misery loves company. Misery loves company. And to be honest with you, Black men, from the beginning of our time in America, have been taken. Their history is to be taken and stolen and manipulated and beaten and even down to sodomization. They've been through so many things, and they've never been rehabilitated from these things, right? And to go from that, and it's not a long time, 100 years or less is not a long time.
Not a long time.
And to be these same Black men that face this, it's crazy, but I'm gonna say it. To face this supremacy, and you gotta face this white man, you gotta face the authorities, and you gotta face the legal system, and you gotta face your job. And you almost can never be your complete self because it's a threat. To be your complete non-violent self is still a threat as a Black man. So I believe a lot of them take that out on their woman. Yeah.
And then you got women like Ari saying they love it.
And it's normal, and it's cute, and it's sexy, and it turns her on. It's sad.
And then you get women who are normal, and they're saying,
what the fuck?
Don't put your goddamn hands on me.
So it's
but then you're running into so many that it's okay to put
that.
Yeah, I'm
like, I understand it. I don't agree with it. I think it's disgusting. I think that she needed this wake up call, and I honestly hope that this wake up call changes her. I do, and we all honestly, I don't moments.
One thing I appreciate, Drea, Michelle, is that her wake up call was immediate, but she's also older, so she could recognize the maturity and say, I misspoke. I didn't mean it like that. But I'm finding out with these little young, tender 20-somethings, they think they know everything.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, boo.
And they think they got everything.
And they think they know everything, they got everything. And social media has told them that's true. Look at Kanye.
Well, I hope that there's a turnaround, and I hope that doesn't last for long. Who knows? Because we don't know where social media is going. I don't think the metaverse knows that, but I do hope that she has not come out with an apology statement. Actually,
I don't think she is going to come out with an apology.
Look, I even looked today, and as of yesterday, because I looked also today. So as of yesterday, I noticed that her Instagram is shut down. I don't know if Instagram shut it down or she shut it down herself or her, her people. But
I saw on Instagram today.
You saw it on there today? The last time I checked, I didn't see it. And I was like, well, I hope this was a learning moment. She
probably wasn't posting, but yeah.
No. I went on her page and it wouldn't even pull up.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, girl, did you go incognito for a minute? Which would be understood. You need to go get your big earnings.
You got me checking. Like, I'm like, did she?
Yeah, remember it was the real Kylie's sister. Was her
Oh, she changed her name.
To what?
Ari.
Was it Ariana Fletcher?
No, Ari the Don.
Did I check that too? I think I checked that too.
Yeah, she changed it.
Anyway, what are we doing? What are we saying to the people to wrap this up? Because I got to go. Yeah.
So, final thoughts. Accountability, growth, maturity. Don't pay attention to everything that glitter and gold
Mhm.
on social media. I love the point of doing relationship checkups. You should
It's
have.
imperative.
I think it should be
Even,
a little bit more often than
let
3
me,
months, but I'm a
I,
little aggressive.
no, I think a little more than 3 months is a little overwhelming for both people, because it's like, all right, come on, give me some time. Because your relationship check-in, I think you should give time for somebody to start getting
Change and processing. You're
So
right.
I just feel like my final thoughts is check in and check up, and your relationship checkup is not just for you, it's not just for your partner, and it's not just for relationships, but it's for all of those things.
Yes.
And sometimes we need to check ourselves, put our pride aside and check ourselves.
Yes.
And know what you're dealing with. Like, know what if you feel like you walking into some bullshit and you want to handle it with bullshit, know that bullshit is going to come with it. But if you walk in something with intentions of love and respect and honesty, and you're not getting that, understand that you deserve better and walk away. And it's okay to feel like,
it's very okay to walk away.
It's not a punishment to you. It's not necessarily a karma coming back to you from something that you previously have done. It's always a message, though. So whether that message be you deserve better, take heed.
Yes.
And do good for you. Be good to you, and those good things will come to you. Period.
Well, thank you, Miss Marshay Nicole. I'm so glad to have finally you on the show.
We gotta do another one. I want to do it.
Yes, we gotta do a spirituality one. Oh
yeah, so I can have my little cards. I got one of my cards here.
Yes, a spirituality.
Oh, let me pull a card and see what this card says. These are not tarot cards, but these are like good energy cards. I'm gonna call them good energy.
The good energy one with the messages.
And your card says celebrate.
Yes, I have a lot to celebrate. I have a lot to celebrate.
Celebrate yourself. Celebrate your kids. Celebrate your family. Celebrate your parents. Celebrate your accomplishments. Celebrate your life. Celebrate your looks.
Yes, get into
it. My phone's trying to play me, but celebrate. And one more. I'm gonna pull one more. Okay.
What you got for us?
Initiation.
Oh Lord. What am I initiated?
On that one, honey.
What am I initiated, Lord? Lord, what am I initiating? Talk to me.
You talk to yourself.
Oh my goodness.
It'll come to you.
But thank you. Yes, we gotta do it.
I love you. I love you so much.
Thank you so much.
I love your message. I love what you're doing. I love that you had me on. I love your life. I love you. I just love you.
I love you too. We got to get together.
We will. And ladies, love on each other and have each other's back. And look out for your fellow women and people and homegirls.
It's all about empowerment and growth and getting clarity. Yes, it's 2020.
And the same that we talked about with those uncomfortable conversations with our spouses, or
having with your family.
Having with your family and friends.
Sisters, everything.
Check in.
Yeah.
I love you.
Love you. Thank you.
Can't wait to see you.
Can't wait to see you. Good night.
I was going to flash you. I forgot we was on a podcast. But this is cute. Can we Sade and smudge?
Yeah. Wait. I was like, no sage, it's Sade and smudge.
Oh, I was gonna put Sade and sage, but I was like Sade and smudge because we like the smudge and sage.
Yes. Get into it.
Love y'all, and thank you for listening.
Thank you for being a part of it. Thank you. Until again.
Bye.